Ducks were weirdly enough a big part of my childhood. I lived in Florida and saw ducks at the lake often. I saw ducks on TV shows and movies. When I got to middle school, my agriculture class had ducks. Slippery, devious little creatures. And now after moving to Louisiana, I still see them everywhere. I guess I'm bound to be surrounded by ducks. So when I heard about Illumination making a duck movie, it had me interested but also a bit skeptical. As spoken about in probably my most controversial video to date, where I said Migration's teaser trailer didn't exactly have me hyped for the movie. Admittedly, I was having a bit of a bad day, but also more than half the stinking trailer was just reminding you of their other films. Hey, remember us? We're the people who made Minions. We got your money, suckers. Which basically shows you just a little taste of Illumination's whole mentality towards trying something that isn't totally low-hanging fruit, cookie-cutter family entertainment. Put more simply, the idea of doing anything that isn't a sequel or guaranteed cash grab IP makes them wet their pants in fear. That being said, I never hated Illumination even at their worst, though my affinity for them has slowly waned over the years. They just always seem to make the safest bare-bone generic kids movies, and they stand out even more now for the fact that we live in a time where studios are really starting to push the envelope and challenge what an animated film can be. Secret Life of Pets 2 was probably the last straw for me in finally realizing how uninteresting the studio was becoming. So aggressively average. And yet, why would they change? Their movies are always racking up the big bucks. But after finally accepting their style over substance status quo with the Mario movie, A Gamer's Dream, I went into Migration with subdued expectations and was, well, pleasantly surprised. I know. I was, maybe kinda sorta wrong. Sure, it has a lot of the aspects we've come to expect from Illumination movies: colorful animation, simple storytelling, easily marketable character designs, but also some things Illumination usually does that this movie just didn't, like random pop song needle drops. I'm not sure I'll ever forgive Illumination for playing Take On Me over the concart scene. Like, what the heck, bro? This song doesn't even fit the energy of the scene in the least. Genius composer John Powell, responsible for the amazing music in the How to Train Your Dragon movies, and Ice Age, and Robots, and Kung Fu Panda, and Happy Feet, yeah, he basically scored our childhoods. Anyways, delivers yet another wonderfully engaging soundtrack that the movie lets carry a lot of scenes by itself. Wait, who are you and what have you done with Illumination? I feel like a good score can really elevate any scene, which is why I had goosebumps for like most of Across the Spider-Verse. Like, y'all seriously need to go back and listen to that score. It's amazing. The beautiful music paired with the unexpectedly epic and immersive flying sequences, seriously, some of these scenes are like How to Train Your Dragon good. Really drew me in a way that almost no other Illumination movie has. The characters are really likable too. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain the plot. A family of ducks wants to migrate to Jamaica and encounter all types of wacky characters and obstacles along the way. There you go, you happy now? Back to what I was saying, the characters are pretty sympathetic and easy to get behind. Pam, the wife slash mom, played by
Wild Style,
is a typical straight man, I mean duck, to contrast her husband's neurotic delusions. But to her credit, she plays the part really well and also has natural chemistry with her family, which I thought was nice. Basically Jewel from Rio if she was more self-aware. More on the Rio comparisons in a minute. Mac, the dad slash husband's conflicts are definitely of the usual overprotective parent variety, but does work as a good contrast in realizing when you're being overly fearful and needing to take healthy risk, versus when there's actual danger that should be avoided. Though this sudden change of heart to migrate after constantly badgering his family about how safe the pond is didn't feel super believable because it just happened way too fast. Some type of realization besides a simple combo with the drunkle duck probably would have made it a bit more believable. Also, props to Illumination for casting Kumail to play the main character. He has a really unique tone and voice that I think makes the character stand out. I feel like any other studio would have casted Matt Damon or Mark Wahlberg to play the dad or something. I did find the kids believable and just interesting enough as characters, the son getting a mini arc which was good, and Gwen playing the not so completely typical younger sister. Why does she have a UK accent though? Oh, apparently their pond is in New England? Yeah, the movie doesn't make that clear. The side characters are fun too. I especially like the Scarlet Macaw Delroy, who hails from Jamaica. Missed opportunity to get Ziggy Marley to play him, not gonna lie. Also, who the heck keeps casting Awkwafina in everything? I mean, she's fine here, but she's in the new Kung Fu Panda movie too? Like, you gotta be kidding me. Also, there's this goofy chef who looks like if Gordon Ramsay and Andrew Tate had a baby. He becomes a villain randomly halfway through the movie, and I'm just like, why do we need this? He never talks though, so props for that. Again, any other studio would have probably drooled at the idea of casting an A-list celebrity to half-heartedly say 5 lines for a throwaway villain. So Ernest and Celestine director Benjamin Renner does manage to create something refreshing, despite still probably being hounded by Illumination executives to keep the movie safe. Maybe a tad bit too safe at times, because the Rio Similarities are very present, suspiciously present. Forget the macaw or the adventurous wife peeved at her sheltered husband, the whole road trip, I mean wing trip aspect, or even the 2 birds dancing in a club with Latin music. No, I'm talking about the last 10 minutes, which is so similar to Rio, I had to legit leave the theater. No, I'm only joking, but the color scheme, the music, the birds, yeah, this movie became full on Rio at the end. To its credit though, this movie is what Rio 2 should have been, giving the kids something to do, but also having a plot that's a little more simple and straightforward, not having like a million things going on. So yeah, it's a cute movie, I enjoyed it. Weirdly enough, it feels like audiences are starting to warm up to Illumination movies, while the critics, not so much. Oh, how the tables have turned. Also, long live Danny DeVito. 3.5 out of 5 rubber duckies. Thank you for watching, everybody. I had a fun time watching this movie. It was simple, but you know, it was really warm and inviting. Not a bad way to close out the year. So I hope you all had a good year, speaking of which, and I look forward to what 2024 has in store for us. Also, I got this pretty crazy comment on my video that YouTube may blow up after the movie came out. Yeah, this person can sleep well knowing that they're the only person who feels this way. Enjoy your day, everybody.